Assalamu alaikum, my dear children. I'm back with the continuation of the 13th lesson, that is early people. But before getting started, let's have a glance over the previous video. In the previous video, we have learned about who are hunter gatherers. Hunter gatherers are the early people who hunted small animals and ate them raw. Raw means what? They are not cooked. Okay, that is called as raw. We have also learned about the prehistory. Pre means what? Before. Okay, so there are no written records of these ancestors, okay, of these early people, so that is why it is called as the prehistory. Next, we have learned about the hominids. Hominids is what? Hominids means family of animals to which human belongs is called as the hominids, okay, and these people, they used to live in the Africa. Let's continue our discussion from here, that is early tools. So early human beings used their bare hands to gather fruits and dig up small roots. So early human beings, they used to use their bare hands, means what? They were nothing to gather the fruits and dig up small roots. So slowly they learned to use sharp stones of different shapes and sizes to dig out the bigger roots and to kill small animals. So in their period, there were no tools to gather the fruits and dig up the small roots, right? So they used their bare hands, and there were no tools to dig out the bigger roots and kill the small animals. So slowly what they thought, they started learning to use the sharp stones, okay, different shapes and sizes. So we can say that the very first tools were found, not made. So by this we can say that the first tool they used was not made, isn't it? They found it ready made, isn't it? So that is why they found it, not made it. Slowly they learned to make more useful tools. These early tools were mostly made by striking pieces of stones together to get sharp edges. So slowly what they did, they started learning to make more useful tools, and these early tools were mostly made by striking pieces of stones together to get the sharp edges. मीन्स व्हाट? पत्थरों को वो लोग लेकर एक साथ मारते थे, तो उससे क्या होता था? शार्प एज वाले पत्थर वो लोग को मिल जाते थे. देन दे यूज टू यूज दैट टूल्स फॉर killing and digging, okay. Some more thinking must have led them to attach these stones to long pieces of wood to make spear shaped tools. They were used for hunting big wild animals from a distance. Then slowly what happened, they must have thought of this idea that they made these spear shaped tools. How? Means they attached the stones to the long pieces of wood. They attached the stone to the long piece of wood like this, and they used to kill the wild animals with that. These were used for hunting big wild animals from a distance, and they used to use this tool for hunting the wild animals, okay, from a distance. Wild animals like lion, tiger, these are the wild animals, right? So to hunt them, they used to use this type of tool. These also kept the hunters safe, and by these tools they used to keep them safe, okay. They also used the bones of the animals they hunted for making tools. Then slowly they got an idea of using the bones of the animals also. And how the bones will be, children? It will be very sharp, isn't it? So they got an idea of using the bones of the animals, and they made the tool of that. They fished, they hunted, they dug roots and stems. Then slowly what happened, they started fishing, okay. Then they hunted, शिकार करना शुरू करे वो लोग. Then they dug roots and stems, and also they dug roots also, stems also, and they even sewed their clothes by using such tools. Sewed their clothes means वो लोग है ना, उनके clothes को सिला भी शुरू कर दे ऐसे tools को use करके. As most of the tools were made from stone, this period came to be called the Stone Age. So in their period, children, whatever the tools they used were made up of stone na. That is why this period is also called as the Stone Age period, okay. Why? Because almost all the tools were made of stones. That is why we call it as the period of Stone Age. Next, shelter and clothes. While early humans hunted animals, some wild animals often hurt or killed them. So when these early humans, they used to do hunting, and they hunted the wild animals, so oftenly they used to get hurt or killed by those wild animals. This made them look for safer places to stay in, like dark caves in the forest. Then they thought that, oh, it's very dangerous, so they thought of staying much safer So they stayed in the dark caves in the forest. What are the dark caves? गुफा की तरह रहता ना, वो लोग उसमें जाकर रहते थे ये वाइल्ड एनिमल से बचने के लिए. These shelters must have protected them from rain, thunder and lightning as well. And these caves protected them from the rain, thunder and lightning as well. So these caves protected them from rain, thunder and lightning means बादल गरजना, बिजली कड़कना, ये सब से वो लोग बचे रहते थे. Archaeologists have found many such caves all over the world. Who are archaeologists, children? A person who dig up old tools, paintings and pots to study them to more about the people who lived in the past is called as the archaeologist. So these people have found many such caves all over the world. Some of them have beautiful drawings of the lives of the early humans, especially of hunting. So these archaeologists, they found such caves all over the world, and few caves have the beautiful drawings on them. It shows the lives of the early humans, especially of hunting. Early human beings used leaves and barks of trees to cover their bodies. They also learned to dry the skin of animals they killed and use them as clothes. Then early human beings, they used leaves and barks to cover their bodies, children. So they used leaves and barks as a clothes for them to cover their bodies. They also learned to dry the skin of animals they killed and use them as clothes. Then slowly they got an idea of using the skin of the dead animals. They used to dry that skin and use as clothes to cover their bodies. Next. The life of these early people was not at all easy. They were not able to understand the reason behind things like thunder, lightning and forest fires. Such things made them afraid. So the life of these early people, children, it was not easy. Why? Because there were no material, isn't it? They slowly got the idea of using the tools, and slowly they started living somewhat better. But their life was not at all easy. They were unable to understand that what is the reason behind this thunder, lightning and forest fires. वो लोग समझ नहीं पाते थे कि ये क्या चीज़ है. बिजली कड़कना, जंगल की आग, बादल गरजना. These things, they made them afraid. However, they were good learners. They learned many new things by watching their surroundings very carefully. But however, they learned many new things, children, by watching their surroundings very carefully. And they were good learners. Slowly, they were able to make and discover new things that made life easier. Then slowly, they were able to discover. Discover means what? Discover means to find something that was not known before. Then slowly they discover new things that made their life very easier. We will read about some such important discoveries of early human beings in the next chapter. Now let's check out these hordes. Why do you think there were no written records during the times of our early ancestors, children? वो लोग के बारे में आज लिखे हुए records क्यों नहीं है? Why? Because in those period there were no tool. There were no pencils, no pens. There were no such material to write down, right? This is the reason why there are no written records of the early ancestors. If there are no written records, how do we know about them, children? We came to know them by the archaeologists. These are the people who used to dig the old tools, okay, old tools and paintings and pots, and they used to study that. By studying that, they came to know the people who lived in the past, how they lived. By that, we came to know that early human beings used to live in this way. Okay. Next, let's have a glance over the complete lesson here. The early human beings gathered fruits and hunted animals for food. They are called hunter-gatherers. So these early human beings, they used to gather the fruits and they used to hunt the animals for food, and they are called as the hunter-gatherers. This period is known as a prehistory as there are no written records for it. So this period is known as a prehistory, children. Why? Because there are no written records for it. How we came to know about them? By the archaeologists. Okay. Early people lived in caves that protected them from the wild animals, and they used to live in the caves. गुफाओं में रहते थे, in order to protect them from the wild animals and from the rain, thunder and lightning. They used stone tools to dig roots and hunt animals, and they started using the stone tools to dig up the roots and hunt the animals. They used leaves, barks of trees and animal skin as clothes, and they used to cover their bodies with the leaves and bark of trees and with the animal skin. Well, that's it, children. It was the end of our 13th lesson. We'll catch up in the next video with the new lesson. Till then, stay safe, stay connected. Allah Hafiz.